Yeah. I really like PBR. It's pretty great. I have a lot of friends that hate it, though. And I don't know why. To me, PBR is kind of like Android. It's so good, and it's so set apart from the other light beers in my world. It's so well designed. Just look at that blue ribbon. Classic, yet modern. What do you think of PBR, Nick?
I think it's a solid beer. I think it's the everyman beer.
It really is.
The label says it all.
Established in Milwaukee, 1844.
I just
Maybe you just need to be quiet.
Being a beer, so
Maybe you just need to be quiet.
What? Don't tell me you like the iOS of beers.
Bush.
No.
Natty Light.
Natty Light. Okay, what WebOS? What beer would that be?
God, WebOS.
A beer that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gone. It's
Well, I mean,
Old style. Old style still exists.
I would just say Stroh's right now, but it's not skunky.
Schlitz.
Schlitz. Yeah, definitely Schlitz. Hey everyone, and welcome to the inaugural TechBuzzed podcast, your raw and slightly inebriated look into the world of technology. I'm Nick Smock.
I'm Ryan Splutzer.
And I'm Lucas Ritter. And we'll be basically giving you our unadulterated opinions and whatnot on technology.
Yes, we are three bros that bond around a few things. One of them is technology. We love tech news, and all things technological.
And we always thought, we listen to a lot of podcasts, and everyone's a little biased in their opinions, and they're a little afraid because of obvious reasons that they don't want to share their full opinions on something. So we figured, since we're just three guys talking about it, we can say whatever the hell we want,
Yes,
and
we
no
can.
one's gonna stop us.
Yeah, that's... Uh-oh. You just asked for it now. We're going to get like a cease and desist from Apple.
No.
I doubt it. Ryan's using a MacBook Pro, so we're
Yeah,
good.
it's all good. We're
Yeah,
recording this
clear.
podcast on a beautiful 2011 MacBook Pro.
And on top of things that we bond over, besides technology, is beer. And
Yes.
so we'd like to add a little feature into every episode where we bring in a beer each week. All three of us bring in a different beer, and we discuss those beers and pick a beer of the week and possibly do a beer of the year.
Yes.
So
Hopefully each week the beer of the week will carry over and
Right,
battle off
yeah.
against next week's beers for final supremacy.
Right.
I
We
just
will
drank
have
a lot of
a just a raw battle to the death gladiator style beer fight.
Is it meaty?
No, it's beery.
Okay.
It's yeasty.
It's going to be hard to find beers every week. I just realized that.
Yeah, but I mean, we can bring whatever we want. You could bring
That's
cider.
true. Yeah. We can expand it.
Any fermented alcohol. I don't even see a problem bringing liquor.
We're open-minded
Oh,
here.
God.
I
at
mean,
TechBuzzed.
liquor wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
like maybe like a mixed drink. Like if you see a good recipe or something.
Yeah.
I could see
Will
that.
episode be tech hammered? Like,
No, because we're only drinking one, maybe.
one maybe.
We can do.
So-
We could start an after show that's just like us. Like
Ooh, I do
we
like
just
that.
keep the mic on, and it's just
keep
us
drinking.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So let's get things started, and I'm hopping into the show notes here, and I see where Lucas just spammed
Okay.
his keyboard
All
for a
right.
little bit.
It was a nice keyboard, and I just started hitting buttons because I got two laptops here.
So
But-
Lucas, you're gonna start talking about the Felix Baumgartner
Yes, I am.
crazy jump.
I just thought it was awesome. It's Felix Baumgartner. I think everyone has heard of this already. He jumped from a really high distance, 128,000 feet in the air.
Mhm.
It's
Record setting, is it not?
record setting. He set like 4 or 5 records, I think. He broke the speed of sound.
That is not true.
Yes, he did.
He did not break the speed of sound.
Look it up.
I'm
I
looking
dare
it up
you to
right
look
now.
He hit 833 mile an hour, Mach 1.2. He could actually feel the air pressure building around him because he started off like above where there's really any atmosphere at 24 miles or
Yeah.
whatever.
I was curious about that too because
I just don't believe that. I feel like that would kill somebody.
Well, when I watched
breaking the speed of sound, just jumping.
Well, when I watched it on TV, they didn't show the miles per hour go over speed of sound. But that was just the TV counter. That wasn't necessarily the instrumentation that was on a suit actually measuring.
Okay, so the HuffPost, which reliable, that's iffy. Says that the amounts of Mach 1.24, which is faster than the speed of sound, but I don't believe that a suit would be able to achieve that.
Okay, yeah, and we don't have a lander on Mars, and we did.
No, but I believe that. Like, that's believable.
But
like someone in a spacesuit just broke the sound barrier when it took us how long to get a car to break the sound barrier?
Well, Wait, a car? Did you say a car?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've done it in a car before.
They've done it in a car
but
on
a suit.
land.
But a suit.
Yeah.
Did you watch the video? Like, he's flipping around in circles.
Yeah, especially if you're flipping around in circles, I don't see you breaking the sound barrier because you're just not aerodynamic enough.
But did you, like, if you look at, if you watch the video, when he's up there, he's at, 0.001 atmospheres. There is no air pressure up there.
Okay,
so there's almost no resistance.
That's understandable. That makes sense. I would agree with that.
That's because, his opportunity to hit that speed was only for the first, 40, 50 seconds.
That would make sense.
I get the feeling he did it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. No, I get the feeling that it just makes sense that he would have hit it being that far up.
Yeah.
But that whole time, oh, man. I literally thought, I was like, am I about to watch a person die?
Yeah,
on live.
This is like Fox News all over again when they showed that guy kill himself.
I just yeah, that was one of the scariest things I've ever seen on TV. I just watching it live and forget about any other science fiction movie you've ever seen. You see this, this was one of those first times really where you had pretty good video feed access to what was going on up there. I feel I haven't seen something like that before. And then he's sitting there and then opens the pod bay door and
just boop, I'm out.
Well, even before he did that, but you just see it open and then you see Earth from inside the capsule
over top of
and
him.
you're just holy,
that's pretty intense.
And he just steps out and you could really put yourself in that situation and be like, oh my god, I would be pooping my pants so hard right now.
Fear of heights is out the window at that point. It's more of fear of never coming back into the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get stuck out and run out of oxygen in the outside the atmosphere.
This morning, CBS's morning show, when they had him on there, and they said that just guess what he went to a psychiatrist before to get over, what fear he tried to get over before that he performed this stunt.
Arachnophobia.
Fear of clowns.
I like that. I'm afraid of clowns too. Maybe I should go to a psychiatrist.
But no, he had to go to a psychiatrist because he was claustrophobic.
Oh, really?
He didn't like being in the spacesuit.
Yikes.
See, I don't think I'd be more afraid of the spacesuit than being in the pod up in space by yourself.
You're floating by this, and that's the thing is that for the first 4,000 feet, if
well,
something
yeah,
would have happened, he's dead.
Well, because the first guy who had done this, who had jumped out of a craft, he jumped out of a weather balloon basically. Yeah. It was like a man-run weather balloon, and he had said that he had to turn around and look up at the ship he was in to actually tell if he was falling, because you said there's no atmospheric pressure, so he has no idea. There's no wind resistance or anything, so he has no idea whether he's falling or not. So potentially you could just get stuck outside the atmosphere and just be like, I'm going to die here because I'm going to run out of oxygen and I'm not falling.
If you were that far enough up, I wonder how far up you have to be to just be stuck in
well, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. But it's at that point you can't.
Done before.
Yeah, at that point you can't tell whether you're falling or not.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Because you don't have, especially in a heavy spacesuit, you have no feeling of resistance.
Well, after a minute, you would hit the resistance and you would be like, "Oh, I'm falling."
And then at that point, I bet that would just be vomit inducing.
Oh man.
But,
yeah, that was nuts. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
But good on Red Bull. I mean.
Yeah, that actually is that's a good point, because that is showing the fact that even though NASA is kind of like cut on their funding and then like limited on what they can do, it's showing that there are private companies that can come in and do things in space, along with the next topic that we'll get to in a minute here. It's really showing like that private companies are willing to spend money to further space exploration, even though this is more of a PR stunt by Red Bull.
Yeah.
Like it's showing the fact that there still are people in this world that are willing to do something like that. So speaking of that, Lucas, why don't you continue on and talk about the SpaceX Dragon docking?
Yeah, and this really leads me into the other topics that I had listed on here, and like SpaceX Dragon, it was the first private ship to dock with ISS, and it happened here this last week. It's Elon Musk's company, SpaceX. They had won the contract with NASA through the DARPA program.
That was a little while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a year ago.
Yeah, it was a little while. It was actually more than that, I think.
Really?
It might have only, but anyway.
It was a year or 2 years ago, somewhere around there.
But it's basically just this cargo ship docked with the ISS, and it's a huge deal because like Nick, you were saying here before, it's just amazing that we're having private companies actually be able to put things into space. Like, you would never be able to imagine this. Like,
yeah, again, which is important further space exploration, especially from the U.S. at least, because the funding was cut to NASA.
Yeah. No, I've been very impressed with how the private sector has picked this up, and just SpaceX's whole idea of just like manless space flight.
Yeah.
You know, it's I think it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
To do it, and it's a lot safer for us, obviously.
I don't know about it being cheaper though.
How could it not be cheaper?
Well, I mean, I can understand because you're not paying for the manpower.
Yeah.
But you're still
also
like investing a lot more in engineering.
But you're also true. But then you can reuse that.
Which is true. Yeah, that is true.
The other thing is, I feel like given any space mission, the fact that you have to go through all these checklists to make it secure for a human being to go up there adds so much more to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, if it just fails, we'll just build another one.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just drop another $1 billion on another one.
Whatever. No, it's awesome, and like it's amazing that they're doing this, and NASA on its lower funding, they're continuing a lot of other things too,
right,
which is amazing. Like they got.
Well, I mean, look at the Curiosity rover too. And, I mean, it's doing great things.
And then also, this is going to lead to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which NASA is just building like crazy spacesuits that are like exoskeletons. And,
all right, I guess we're going on to the next topic.
I am. I'm just leading right into it because.
Oh man, this picture.
Yeah.
If you ever played Portal before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to look at this.
Best thing is they want to make it so like you can use it for both exercise out in space because it can be like resistant.
Well, yeah, because I mean you're gonna lose muscle mass while you're out in space.
And they want to make it so they also want to be able to use it for handicaps and whatnot, so you can regain.
Handicaps you don't say handicaps, say handicapped people.
Handicapable.
Handicapable. That's also a good word.
Okay.
So, to describe what this thing basically looks like a little bit, it's like
robot legs.
Two robot legs that you wear on like the outermost of your legs, and they're like these white things. And what do they do basically? Like,
it's like, basically it's external mechanical muscles for your body. Like you get into the suit.
Yeah.
And then you can move around.
Assists.
Yeah.
Muscle
it like assists you.
Yeah. And I just have to point out that we got this article from CNET, and this picture that they have from CNET makes these people look absolutely ridiculous. Like the woman has this like forward like leaning stance, and then the guy's like trying to act all tough, and he's like
they're modeling.
Yeah, and the guy's like acting all tough, and he's like, I'm wearing a suit that makes me work less.
Hey, he's a badass.
And the girl's like,
disagree.
I'm wearing a suit that tones my thighs.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's in workout.
She's totally doing stair steps
beer
right now.
smells absolutely delicious.
Which one is
Give
this?
that a smell. This is the Weech.
The Weech.
The Weech.
The Weech. Who makes it? Who makes it?
It's by O'Fallon.
Ooh.
I have not tasted it yet.
It smells very orangey.
It's peach.
Peach.
Hence the Weech.
Ah, okay.
It's a peach wheat beer.
Very tasty.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but it's just imagine.
Give that a smell first.
can't
It's very
smell it.
peachy.
It's peachy. Peachy keen.
That is not. Is that your beer pick of the week?
No, it's not.
That's not.
No.
You've got a different one
Yeah,
later.
I do.
It tastes like
Yeah.
grape juice.
No, it doesn't. It's peach. There's
It's
no grapes.
peach.
Do you see? Is that a grape? No, that's
Okay, it tastes like
that's
peach
Peach
juice.
Man.
Okay.
It's Peach Man. It's like Pac-Man, but from peaches.
Is it wheat because it's made with wheat?
It's a peach wheat beer. Yes. All right, let's continue on. Come on.
Come on, I want to get sidetracked. Yeah, and then my last topic up here, since we're kind of running out of stuff with crazy ass exoskeletons, is the U.S. military. This was just a little story on Giz that I had read. They finally found a way to get their laser on the back of a truck, so now they can drive around and shoot mortars out of the sky.
Laser beams on sharks.
Yeah,
Is
we're
that
getting
one
there.
step closer
We're
to
getting
sharks
to-
with laser beams on their
yes.
heads? Sharks
We are
with
almost
excuse
there.
me, sharks with frickin' laser beams on their head.
Frickin' laser beams. Yeah, it's someday I hope to be designing that once I actually get somewhere in my life. But yeah, I want to put a laser on a shark.
I'll draw pictures of it.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. This sounds productive.
I'm
It's-
gonna do that right now.
Yeah, we're going places. Drawing pictures of sharks with frickin' lasers. But yeah, it's just really promising because we already have a lot of systems for tracking down and like kind of watching where certain projectiles are coming at us are doing. And now that if the military can get this set up, it's basically you're building your missile shield. It'll save a lot of troops in the field, and I just think it's kind of sweet that we're getting to the point where processing power is high enough to be able to track things in real time. And
Yeah.
and just like I
Yeah.
just think of the math that's behind and the physics that's behind it because I'm going through a class right
And
now.
the
I want-
engineering
I want-
behind
This is
it.
Ronald. This is Ronald Reagan's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Oh God. Yeah, it's.
We did it, Ronnie. We did it.
This one's for you, Ronnie. Episode title right there.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to a life of not being afraid of getting hit by mortars in Saginaw, Michigan.
Yeah, because that's gonna happen.
Hey, Canada.
Canada has no money.
What? Are you kidding me? Canada has more money.
I
than
know
we
they
do.
have a lot of money.
Okay, complete tangent here. No.
They have a lot of money.
God dang it. I'm not gonna worship the Canadians right now.
Because taxes are so
I
high.
do really like Canada.
It's
I've
pretty
never-
sweet.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I haven't been to
really like
Canada in a hot minute.
I haven't been there in a minute
I don't
either.
think they would let me in.
Sure they will.
I don't know. It's up for
They'll just apologize to you all the time.
yeah.
Sorry, dearie. I'm from Quebec.
Yeah. Okay.
Escanaba on the moonlight.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
That movie was.
Awesome.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, I guess
My grandpa took me to that movie when I was like 13.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen that
same
movie in a
with my
really long
grandpa.
time.
Because we have a cabin up like off of 35
In
which is the
Rock,
road
yeah.
that they were filming that on, and yeah, that was really goofy. But talking about physics, which I was just here a couple seconds ago with the lasers and frickin' laser beams. Notch, you know that crazy guy that made Minecraft. He's
Marcus Persson. If
Marcus
you,
Persson. His Twitter handle's Notch. You should follow him because he's just an awesome guy.
He's probably the best game developer of our time.
Yeah. I
Next
don't
to
know.
Phil Fish, because I just love Phil Fish.
Okay.
Now, Phil Fish, enlighten the listeners. He made
Fez.
Fez. Yes.
Are you sure you don't like Cliffy B?
I actually do. I like Cliffy B after he left Epic.
What?
Which was like a few days ago.
Which was like a week ago. Yeah, like have you read his tweets since he left
Not
Epic?
really. I
They're
stopped following
hilarious.
him.
He just talks about strippers all the time.
What?
Yeah, like he
I
just
guess
talks
this
about
doesn't
like
surprise me.
he just talks about like how cool it is having like a bajillion dollars
Yeah.
and doing whatever he wants.
Isn't his wife like drop dead gorgeous too?
Of course he is, because he looks like a better looking Dane Cook, and
But-
he's probably funnier than Dane Cook too. And it's not even his job to be a comedian.
Okay, well, I was talking about the unattractive Notch.
Hey, Notch has a sexy beard and hat.
Okay, his hat is awesome, but anyway, his new game that he's been working on, OX10C, it's basically he has influence from all angles in this game.
Doom, his own game Minecraft.
But it's I'm just very intrigued by the lighting physics in this game are ridiculous because he has lasers
There'll be a link in the show notes
Yeah.
to check out that video.
Describe for the people basically like it looks kind of like Minecraft in space, right?
It's like Doom.
Kind of, yeah.
It's like high res Doom is what it is, and the lighting physics in this game are hyper realistic.
Yeah, and also,
Is it blocky though?
To an extent, but like I said,
kind of.
high res Doom.
Okay.
It's not blocky like Minecraft, but it's still a block. It looks
High
like
res.
it's built off the same.
High res.
High res Doom.
It looks like it's built off the same engine, so I have a feeling the graphics are gonna be about the same.
Okay.
But yeah, high res Doom is good.
That's actually cool to me, because
I think it'll be a really interesting like multiplayer game.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that like Mojang is getting into the more multiplayer interface. There's a shark with a freaking laser beam. I'm just gonna Paul Miller this here
for the listeners at home, Nick just drew a shark with a laser beam.
with a
on him.
freaking laser.
With a
beam.
freaking laser beam
On
on
his
his
head.
head. This
Oh,
one's for
Lord.
you, Ronnie. That's the caption by the picture.
Why would Ronnie want sharks with lasers?
So they could shoot missiles out of the sky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Wars.
Okay. So. Okay.
Because Star Wars.
All right. Yeah. And
All right. I don't know about like. Are we gonna continue on with OX
I
Sensi?
could.
It's cool. It's
I
interesting.
have a lot of other things to talk
Check
about
out
with this, but
check out the
yeah.
video. Do a Google.
There's also one last thing, probably one of the biggest things in there is it's gonna have a programming engine in it. Like, you will be programming the functions of your ship. Like you're flying around in space, and you have to set up like a program to land your ship on planets. You have to set up programs like for automatic docking, and it's gonna have a lot of stuff that is kind of I haven't seen before.
That point is game breaking.
Yeah.
This is something that really hasn't been implemented in any games. The fact that he is basically making a program language in a game
Yeah.
really opens up the door to literally do anything within the bounds of your spaceship.
Yeah.
From what I've read and heard, it's like you can control anything
Yeah.
so long as you have like a somewhat of a programming background. It's going to be easy enough
I
to
think
make
it's
your
easy enough
simple
where just about anyone can
to
pick it up.
make your simple landing and takeoff like pieces of software, but like people who have a more in-depth knowledge into
yeah.
programming are going to be able to take this a lot farther, which
Ryan, I want you to program the internet into
which
this.
is really reflective of
They can-
Minecraft actually.
Make an
Like-
in-game web browser.
Yeah.
which is like this is but like I was saying is like this is really reflective of Minecraft actually, because like the redstone mechanic in Minecraft
Yeah.
really brings out this it's both a programming and like circuitry, electronic circuits aspect into a game where you're using like logic gates that you would use in both like an electrical field and a computer programming field, where you have like NOR, RS NOR, T flip flops, things like that. Like it's something that like is game breaking. Like
Yeah.
you've never seen anything like that. And
Yeah.
and I think like people actually take the fact that redstone is in Minecraft to like they take advantage of that fact. Like they don't realize like how important that is, and like how that actually makes Minecraft.
All right.
Because other than that, it's just fucking Legos.
I have never played Minecraft before, so enlighten me as to what
Redstone is like it's an ore, but it's an electronic circuit technically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really tough to explain. The best way to do it is just like look up some like redstone things on like YouTube or whatever. But like you can like people have made like 8-bit, 16-bit, 64-bit
Holy
computers on using just redstone.
You're kidding me.
No, because I mean,
Minecraft?
yeah, it has like there's logic behind it. Like
Yeah.
there's actual like programming logic behind it.
Like
Wow.
the dude that built a calculator.
Yeah, like people have built like calculators and things like that, and like displays and things like
It
that.
adds, multiplies,
Yeah.
and
That's really crazy.
It's intense. It's
Yeah.
it's game breaking, like I said.
Yeah.
But people take advantage of that fact, and they're just like, oh look, I can make my door open from the other side of my house.
Yeah.
let's get off this tangent and continue.
Yeah, but that's really all that that's most of the stuff I had. There's also stuff with this gravity inside and outside of the ship, and it'll change. Like, you'll have 0 gravity outside of the ship, so these are just little things that you can play with. Like, just in general, just play with them. But yeah,
it looks like a really interesting game.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see some like alpha and beta releases of it. Continuing on, we're going to talk about Reddit for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
There was a big fiasco, and I feel like we have some differentiated opinions in this group here about what went down. Adrian Chen went after ex-Reddit user, Violent Acres, who was a prolific Reddit user that went off and made a lot of questionable subreddits.
Wasn't when he went after him, he wasn't an ex-Reddit user.
Correct. Yeah, he was a Reddit user at the time. He is now an ex-Reddit user.
Ex-Reddit.
I should rephrase that.
Yeah.
He essentially, Adrian Chen of Gawker Media Group, went after this user because there was a lot of flack coming into Violent Acres turf. He was creating subreddits and moderating subreddits that were questionable in nature. One being the Creep Shots subreddit, which is where people take pictures of girls unknowingly wearing scantily clad clothing and things like that. That was our jailbait.
Oh,
Our jailbait was pictures of girls underage wearing scantily clad clothing. But Creep Shots was like, hey, I'm on the subway and this chick's wearing a short skirt. I'm going to catch an upskirt pic of her.
Yeah.
And then they post it on Reddit, which is like violating like just moral law.
Yeah. Can I just say, before I heard about this story, I had no idea really. Like, I know there was some weird stuff on Reddit, but like I had no idea it was kind of like this 4chan-y.
Go to our space sticks.
I know.
Just go to it right now. I want to see your reaction. Reddit.com/r space sticks.
All right.
Why would we want to
Go to it too.
Wait, /r
Space dicks.
like no,
like the word
not
space.
Another slash.
Like
though.
no r/space sticks. Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
I want to see your reaction. Just click on the first link or whatever. I don't even know what it is.
Oh, this is encouraging. There's a little Reddit character with a beard that says you must be 18 to view this Reddit.
Yeah, join that one. So just go ahead and it's a YouTube video.
God.
I don't even know.
Why is that the background image? No.
Yeah, with the dick and the rainbow.
No.
Yeah, it's really kind of creepy.
I don't actually know what that video is. I haven't seen that. This is where I send everyone that wants to join Reddit, and whether they, like, if they're like against it, then they don't join Reddit, and I just know the world is a better place.
This is a video of them nuking Japan.
That's not a very good. No, just go to an Imgur link.
Okay.
Go back to our space sticks.
All right, I just closed
picture.
it.
No, that's a video. That's a video again too.
Like, here's my thing.
There you go. Yeah.
As
our space sticks.
if
only we can see the look on Lucas's face right now.
Here's my thing about that.
Don't go to our space sticks, kid.
As gross as that is, as disgusting as that is, it's not.
It's legal.
That's the thing. It's not offensive. It's not offensive to me. It's just gross.
Well, yeah, but
you know,
like the stuff that Violent Acres was like supporting and posting was offensive.
That's my thing.
It was like minor,
and I didn't know until this story came up that stuff even existed on Reddit. I mean, I always knew about crazy things in 4chan, but like I had no idea Reddit had these like subspaces.
So let's kind of jump back more into this topic now. Lucas, you had a somewhat differentiated opinion than I did on this whole thing, which I should get straight. I am completely content with Adrian Chen's actions.
Wait, so we should fill people in on what he actually did.
Adrian Chen sought out Violent Acres, got his personal information, and published a story on him on Gawker. Then I think this was afterwards. Let's see.
And then like a lot of
The Verge then covered the story.
They did
afterwards.
And
there's a lot of sites that covered it.
It's Reddit started blocking a lot of Gawker links too because TikTok.
That was on our technology, like Reddit like shut down every Gawker link that got posted.
Let's be clear here. It was the Reddit moderators.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
yes.
did it, not Reddit itself,
Right.
not like
Yeah.
Alex Ohanian and all those folks.
Mike, I don't remember his
It
name.
was the moderators of all the subreddits that were collectively like, hey, we're gonna block all Gawker links to all of our groups.
But this was only in our technology, like the technology subreddit.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
This was only
Just
in
in that
the
one.
technology subreddit.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I guess my big problem with this is I just don't like how, like on the internet you're anonymous. It's people aren't like, especially on Reddit. Like with what he's doing, he's being an ultimate troll, and I understand why he did that, but I don't like how Alex Chen like dug into him and like, hey, I'm gonna throw your identity out there.
But there's nothing because Adrian Chen would have had to have found his identity on the internet.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with him saying, "Hey, I found out that this is Violent Acres. This is public. This is public on the internet. I'm just reposting it somewhere."
yeah. I have a problem with like him just posting, hey, this is that big troll that you
But at the
and
same
here's where he
time,
lives.
he didn't post his address, did he? He just posted the city that he lived in.
Oh, okay.
At the same time, this was also right around the time that Creep Shots was getting a lot of flack
Yeah.
from a lot of like public action groups and things like that.
And
so
CNN's
really,
Anderson
yeah,
Cooper.
exactly. Like Anderson Cooper and that really got in on this. So really, Adrian Chen is completely in the right what he's doing, because he is capitalizing on the fact that he is I don't know how to explain this. He is like internet famous, I guess. He's a well-known blogger, a well-known journalist, internet journalist, and he has knowledge of the internet. So he is able to take this story that Anderson Cooper's doing about this mysterious man, Violent Acres, and find out who Violent Acres is, and then really capitalize on that.
Yeah.
He's doing his job at this point.
No, he's being a reporter,
Yeah.
and I get that. And I guess I don't have a problem with it. I guess, yeah, no, I don't have a problem with him exposing it. I guess the only thing I'll note and what it seems like to me, once I've heard Adrian Chen talk on NPR, and once I've read the stories,
Right.
it felt to me like he had something in for the guy, and I don't get where that's coming from.
Maybe it's not necessarily like a personal thing, but he's just like, because I can understand where he's coming from. Like,
No, I get
this
it.
whole like Creep Shots
No, it's
subreddit
messed
that he
up.
started is
Like,
messed up.
It's messed up, but I felt like he was trying to like out this guy like personally, like be
Well,
like,
I
yo,
mean,
dude, bro, I'm gonna out you.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
just,
here's what I think about it.
Yeah.
I don't know Adrian Chen's personal life. I know nothing about him besides that he is a blogger for Gawker. But like, say he has daughters or something, like teenage daughters.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be on Reddit and have your daughter show up on Creep Shots.
Right,
And have like
right.
a bunch of dudes like commenting on this, like, oh, that's so hot, I'm gonna masturbate to that tonight.
right.
Like, I would never want to see that. And I
Right.
would definitely take that personal at that point.
Sure. No, it makes sense. I guess one of the big takeaways here, the reason why this story is so crazy is because like nobody violated any laws here.
No.
Right.
Really.
Nobody violated any laws or Reddit rules.
Nobody violated any rules. It's
Yeah.
just really like a big like.
Which actually brings up a good point, because if I was reading the Verge's story on it.
Yeah.
And actually his subreddits got banned,
Yeah.
not because
some of that too.
not because Anderson Cooper did the story on it, Adrian Chen did the story on it, but Violent Acres went to the owners of Reddit and said, I need these taken down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it had, well, indirectly it had things to do with the fact that there was a story on Anderson 360
So
or whatever it
he
was.
said that after it went on CNN.
But then he went to the owners of Reddit and said, this needs to be taken down.
Yeah.
So really it was, he was trying to cover his ass.
He probably figured it was.
He was trying to cover his ass.
He probably figured it was only a matter of time until somebody like figured out
Right.
who he was.
Right.
Yeah.
He was just 2 minutes too late.
But
Yeah.
my hopeful thing about this is that, like, Reddit, like, at first they were just like, the moderators were just like, oh, we need to ban Gawker things. But then all of a sudden, like, the other part of Reddit was just like, hey, no, we don't ban anything because we're Reddit.
Well, I mean, like Reddit literally has 5 rules.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are, but they only have 5 rules.
Yeah.
And it's basically just like, don't post child pornography
Well, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
don't
5
do
times over.
don't do anything illegal.
Yeah, don't do anything illegal and don't post child pornography.
And
then it's just like repeated 5
Well,
times.
and don't expose other people's identities.
Right, yeah. So those 3 rules, but
Which Adrian
like they repeat 20.
which Adrian Chen didn't do.
But he did not do
on
on
Reddit.
Reddit. Right, exactly.
He did it on his own
And
publication.
like I said before, exposing Violent Acre's identity wasn't really exposing it because he found his identity on the internet.
Right.
If it's public on the internet,
It's out there.
public on the
I
internet.
heard
Right.
that he
Anybody
found
can find it.
by asking members though on Reddit, like some of the dudes like former friends.
Public on the internet.
I mean,
Anybody could have done that. I could have went to those same members and said, "What's Violent Acre's identity?" If they're willing to divulge that information, then they're dumbasses.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the guy's name is Michael Brutch.
If you want to go hate mail him,
He actually went on CNN recently. I think it was like today or yesterday. And
I believe it was yesterday.
it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So and like talked about the whole thing, and he said, I mean, it's that kind of classic internet answer. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it, Brian?
Come on, man. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?
I did it for the lulz. But I mean,
I did it for the
no,
lulz.
basically that,
LULZ.
that was like that
Pretty much what he
standard
said.
answer. It's like those
honestly,
freaking
though-
internet points. I
Honestly,
got.
though, he's got just a 100% valid point.
Yeah.
He really does.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I'm playing to this audience of college kids." I was like, "Okay, well, that's fine." But
Let's
those college kids have kind of sick minds.
Let's jump into our next topic here.
Oh, by the way, the guy lost his job and all that fun
Yes,
stuff.
he did. He pretty much
that's
lost
kind
everything.
of-
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost his life.
Poor man. Just kidding. So we have this Gawker article, "Investing is Simple, Don't Tell the Rich." Lucas, I
Ooh.
believe you are going to be on that article.
I did, but Brian talk about it.
Okay,
Well, okay.
Ryan and Luke, I'm going to leave you
Actually,
to talk about this article.
do you need to pee or something?
Because, I didn't read this article, so
Oh.
I'm going to leave you guys
I
to
actually
talk
didn't
about
read it either.
I
Wait,
haven't.
no. I read it.
Has anyone read this article?
I skimmed it. I skimmed this article. I
Well-
only thought this would be good to talk about.
Do you all
because
have it? Do you all have it up?
I have it
No.
up. I
Get
thought
it
this
up.
would be good to talk about because just I have a strong opinion on
You want me
this.
to
No, it's fine.
just you guys talk about this article for a
Basically,
moment.
the gist of this article is don't freak out about your investments. Don't freak out at your financial advisor, or even maybe get a financial advisor. Just put your funds in a low-cost index fund in a mix of stocks and bonds.
Oh, so what
Go to
we-
bed and
Talk-
don't worry about it.
What we were taught to do in economics in
Yeah.
school.
What happened to us? Yeah, when we were 18 years old in high school, and our econ teacher was like, "Put some money away, sleep on it.
Yeah.
When you're old, it will grow and grow and grow, and you'll have a lot of money later."
Yeah.
And I believe that you don't need all these people telling you what you need to do
Yeah.
with your money. Basically, I'm in the camp where I actually think a lot of investors, and I'm not talking about necessarily people that are investing for their retirement and stuff, but I'm talking about like people that freak out when they hear the quarterly earnings of XYZ
Oh, yeah.
company and are like, "Oh, I need to sell all my shares right now." Investors are really like irrational people.
Yeah.
Like that's the
God.
crux of my argument. It's like investors like that just like don't think through things, and they don't have a deep understanding of the companies they're
Yeah.
investing in. All they look at, and all I learned from in college was like people look at risk, and there's this
Yeah.
like beta factor, and that's risk. And it's like how much can I put into this and not worry about it?
Yeah.
And that's the wrong way to go about it. If you really want to invest, you should know the companies you're investing in, like deeply.
Yeah.
Know what's going on.
Well, that's
And,
like.
and then you'll have a much better feeling about where you're putting your money.
Yeah, and that brings up like the other day, Google they only earned a couple $1 billion instead of a couple
believe-
extra $1 billion, and it's like their stock dropped like 10%.
Yeah.
in an instant, and it was just like, really, guys, you're freaking out right now over this, and yeah, that was
Actually, why don't now that you brought it up, why don't we jump to that?
Jump into the next topic.
Oh, well, it's not the next, but it's number 7. But
We'll make it the next topic.
it's the next topic.
Yeah,
I mean,
sounds
so
good.
Google, I think it was today, released their Q3 earnings.
Well, they got leaked the other
They
day. didn't
leaked
they?
out. Like,
Yeah.
basically, somebody hit the send button to people, like, too early.
Whoops.
Oopsie. And it was lower than investors. Again, these wonderful, rational
Yeah,
investors
like,
thought.
I mean, they're predictions. How well does anybody trust their weatherman?
Yeah.
Because everyone knows the weatherman's bullshit.
And so they got 2.18 billion profit. on
Heaven forbid.
14.1 billion revenue. But the other thing is, Motorola Mobility, their wholly owned subsidiary now, they bled out another $527 million
yeah.
this past quarter alone. Now times that by
Surprising.
4, and that's how much it
What?
happens during the year.
What would have caused that for
Yeah.
Motorola?
2 billion basically during the
What would
year.
have caused that for Motorola
Well,
Mobility? to put
they
out that much?
let go of a lot of
phone
people.
that you love on Motorola.
What's that?
Name a phone that you love on Motorola.
The Razr Max HG.
You love it?
I like my dad's Razr Max.
Okay.
It's a pretty nice phone.
Let me put it this
Would
way.
you buy it?
No.
They're
No, I wouldn't buy it either. I wouldn't buy any Motorola phone.
I wouldn't either.
exactly.
I'm gonna go into a rant on Motorola phones in a second.
Okay.
But
Oh, I'm excited for that.
it's gonna be really good because But
Anyway.
first of all, they lost Motorola Mobility itself bled out 527 million. They lost that in one quarter, and my guess is because of a lot of severance packages because they let go of a lot of people recently, within the last 3 months, and they've been doing a lot of restructuring.
Yeah.
Now, to get back to Google's and their whole earnings thing, people are freaking out unnecessarily about this
Yeah.
because they don't take that into account. Like, they have this wholly owned subsidiary that's just basically bleeding out money from them.
Yeah.
And
Which is you know what? They are, but I have a feeling it's going to stop pretty soon.
No, it's
because right now Motorola still
Exactly.
has like phones in like production that
Right.
still have to come out before Google is
Right.
like wholeheartly taking them over.
and that's the other thing. There was another article I read today that was like it was on The Verge, and basically the gist of it was Motorola has these phones in the pipeline, even beyond the 4 that they just announced not too long
Right,
ago,
right.
a couple months ago.
They're already out, aren't they?
The Razr M.
Razr M, the Razr HD, the Max HD, and the Razr I.
They're all terrible names.
The Razr I, the Intel.
The iRazr. The
That's
iRazr.
it.
Talk about
I can't-
patent lawsuit.
It was so meaningless to me. Like, I don't even remember any of their names.
Yeah. Well.
We do.
But you guys do.
Anyway.
Good enough, right?
God
I-
bless you.
I-
But okay. But where was I going with that?
You're gonna rant about Motorola.
Well, yeah, I was gonna get to that, but the other thing was Motorola still has like a bunch of other phones in their pipeline, and basically the gist of this article I read today was on Google's quarterly earnings report, one of their execs said, "Hey, don't expect Motorola to be done with their own stuff soon." What are you showing to me? Yeah. Don't expect Motorola to be done with their stuff soon. Like, they still have stuff in the pipeline that they're going to be pushing out over the next 6 to 12 months. So basically, we're not going to see a wholly like integrated Motorola into Google until another 6 to 12 months.
Yeah,
They're going to be
exactly.
coming out with their own weird ass phones.
Like we were
For a
saying the
while
other
now.
day, this is like the same thing as like Jobsy and Apple. Like I love that
Right.
phrase, which trademark. Jobsy and Apple is we have just departed actually from Jobsy and Apple, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Basically the iPhone 5 blows.
Okay. Now.
And
Whoa. Tell us how you really feel.
It really blows. But no, we have officially, after the release of the iPhone 5, we have officially departed from Jobsy and Apple, which was the Apple that was still Steve Jobs' Apple post-mortem.
Mm-hmm.
So
We've officially departed from that, where like, after he died, there was still like those ideas, those concepts, those builds that were there when he was alive. and they were still in production. Like the 4S. The 4S was a solid device.
They say he worked on the 5 though.
I don't believe that. The new iPad, another great device. This is like the what was the old CEO of Motorola's name?
Oh, Sanjay Jha.
Yeah, this is like the Jazian Apple, or the Jazian Motorola.
It makes sense, and that's still basically they need to shit out.
Jazzin.
The way I see it, it's like they've got all this stuff in their digestive system
right.
still,
They just got to get it out,
and they have to shit it all out before they can move on.
This is like the opposite of Apple, because like Apple is about to just like shit everything out, and Motorola is just shitting everything out.
I don't think this is gonna happen with Apple. What don't you like about the iPhone 5? What's your problem with it? I want to hear this. Like,
it's worthless. Like, I would rather pay less money for the 4S.
Why?
Because there's nothing new in it.
There hasn't been anything new in iOS for years. You are getting one of the most dependable phones in the market, one that is just gonna work, one that your grandmother can figure out how to.
But it's 100 centimeters long. It's a mile long.
Okay,
it's a ridiculous looking phone.
You've got a Thunderbolt here.
But the aspect ratio of my phone is proportionate.
No, I agree with you there.
It's a ridiculous looking phone.
If you hold up an iPhone 5 next to a Galaxy Nexus,
I just played with one yesterday.
Yeah. If you hold one up next to a Galaxy Nexus or a Galaxy S3, it looks strange.
We gotta get off. But we have to get off this point because this is coming up later.
I agree. I want to go back to Motorola real quick.
Let's continue with Motorola.
So
we're tangenting.
I used to be a longtime Motorola fan. My first smartphone was a Motorola Droid, and I loved that phone. It was pure stock Android. It was amazing. Had a pretty great keyboard, and it did things at the time that the iPhone could only think about doing. It was amazing. Then I bought this thing called the Droid 3, and it just was so disappointing because it was so blurry and it just what so. The Droid 3 had such an awful interface that I hated it. I hated it from day one when I took it out of the packaging, and I hated it until I ROMmed it and I put this custom ICS ROM on it.
Cyanogen?
It wasn't Cyanogen because actually my Droid 3 didn't have enough RAM to run ICS.
Liquid?
No, it wasn't Liquid. It was it was this guy named Hashcode. Who had?
Oh yeah, Hashcode. That's actually based on Cyanogen mod.
Yeah, it based on Cyanogen, right? But he had to alter it to work with less RAM, basically, because that was the limitation on the Droid 3. And until I put a different interface on that phone, I hated every bit of it, and I hated every minute of it. And after that, I jumped off the Motorola Droid 3 onto my Galaxy Nexus, pure stock Android. I've never been happier since. I'm never ever buying a Motorola phone again, ever.
Really?
Until Motorola actually gets swallowed up by Google and they make some stock devices.
They're going to make some sexy devices.
Because let me tell you the one thing that Motorola did
as long as they don't
was solid hardware. I had dropped my Droid 3 off of my bike at full speed multiple times and it was fine.
Are we going to get back to the Samsung SCHI6?
If you want to.
No, I need to talk about the phone that I got instead of the original Droid and why I'm kicking myself for it. I got an HTC Imagio. And
isn't that like a Windows Mobile 6.5 phone?
Yes, let's talk about what was on an HTC Imagio. Windows Mobile 6.5.
That is Windows Mobile. What was the code word for that? It was Titanium or Titanium.
You're remembering the HTC Titan.
No. But the code name for that was like Titanium or something like that.
I don't even know, but it was garbage. That is right there the reason that everyone hates Microsoft in phones. Like I've been a Microsoft fanboy my entire life. I don't quite know why, but
I was too.
Like I came from an SCHI 760, which was a Samsung phone. Slider. It was the screen was like your resistive touch screen, and it was an awesome phone. I don't know why. I just loved that phone. And then I got an Imagio, and it wanted to make me kill myself. Like, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, I actually wanted to downgrade to a previous version of Windows on this.
Titanium.
Because, like, they had this, like...
No, it was
touch-friendly-
much better than Windows Mobile 6.1. Don't argue that.
I would have rather had it... I don't know. It had two entirely different mindsets. Like, one
It
is
really
like, hey,
did.
we have these 6 buttons that are really easy to touch. And then you touch them, and all of a sudden you have, like, a start menu to hit.
Hey, Windows 8.
Okay. We are... No. Windows 8 or Windows RT?
Windows 8.
Oh, my God.
Well, let's continue talking about this right now.
What, Windows 8?
No, let's,
They're going to dominate our lives this next week, so it's... Yeah.
they're going to dominate everyone's lives next week. Because the 26th...
Apple's trolling
Windows-
them with a pointless tablet offering. on
Windows
the
8,
3rd.
we're continuing on that later. Windows 8 announcement, October 26th. And I have to agree with this Gizmodo post that Microsoft made a very non-terrible ad for Windows 8.
Really?
Which, yeah, if you check out that video,
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
I've
But-
seen it on actual live television.
Yes,
Serious?
as have I.
Yeah.
But they at the end of the advertisement, it has the date 10/26 or 2012, whatever year this is. And if any of you are adventurous, you can play with the developer preview, which I have.
I
Lucas
have it, too.
has.
I've got it
I have
on
not.
both. of my
Ryan
desktops.
Ryan
Reddit.
unfortunately has not messed with the developer preview.
Yeah. You know,
Remember, Ryan uses a MacBook.
Yeah.
Well, I have a. Not that that's an excuse because I have.
you could
Well, I have a Dell XPS
I just have to
laptop
beat on
still
Ryan.
that I
you
could.
could probably boot camp it too.
Oh, I could, but
Why?
no, I could. Yeah, no.
Boot camp.
Basically, I just like to try the latest and best thing, and I have not been able to do this yet with Windows 8. So,
It's pretty great.
and I hear it's awesome.
God, I don't want to say it's awesome. It's not awesome.
I'll
no,
be
I mean
honest,
like it's,
it's
fun
pretty-
to play with.
It's pretty great.
Now, wait. So, what
I
topic are
don't
we on?
use the
We're on
natural
Windows
start
8.
Screen.
No,
We're
I
talking
know,
about
but
Windows
there's
8
a lot of
announcement.
things to talk about when Windows 8. What point?
Windows 8 announcement.
Oh, okay. So
Like,
you can pre-order it already,
Right. And actually, there was another post on Gizmodo that Walmart put it on their shelves. But
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
but
they pulled it off already, though.
okay,
because-
this is their update that they have. Is Microsoft tells us that even if an early copy does get into the checkout line, you can't actually buy the software yet. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Wait,
No.
what do you mean by the soft? Like Windows 8?
Well, okay, so Walmart, some Walmart in where the hell was it?
I actually pre-ordered Windows 8.
They don't say on this post, but there was a Walmart somewhere that put like physical Windows 8 discs on their shelves already. This was like last week.
Disc. I
Yeah.
thought you meant surfaces.
No, like this is
Oh
just
my
the
God,
disc
I'd
for
be
the
driving
software.
there.
And so they put these physical discs on their shelves and they were able to purchase, and then there was an update that says Microsoft says that even if you buy an early copy, you can't even if an early copy does get to the checkout line, you can't actually buy the software. So maybe it's not in point of sale systems yet. That's what it is. It's just not in point of sale systems yet. So
It's
like
not-
if you
so-
it wouldn't scan.
They have their inventory there.
But it was on the shelf, but it won't scan because it's not updated in their point of
Right.
sale system yet.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So yeah, Windows 8's coming up, and it's pretty exciting. This next week is actually going to be pretty big for technology announcements.
Yeah.
We have
Lots of stuff
Well, let's
going
see
on.
here. We have the 26th, which is Friday. Will be Windows 8 announcement. Which is exciting, but at the same time, like Windows 8 seems like a really like it's getting a lot of shit right now.
I have one hang up about it.
I want to hear this.
And it's a big hang up, and I think Lucas might have something to say about this too.
Yes, I will.
It's Windows 8 RT.
Correct.
Oh, God.
RT meaning that it's based on the ARM architecture.
Correct. which
That-
is silly.
That scares me. But no, it doesn't scare me. It makes me not want to get one. Basically, because my whole reason for wanting to get a Surface is like I go on vacations or go places where I take pictures and they're raw pictures.
Right.
I mean, this is just one use case. This could be any number of media things
Right.
that you would want to do with a laptop or something. I haven't been able to fully ditch. I haven't been able to fully ditch, not like taking my laptop, my MacBook Pro on vacation or wherever with me, because at the end of the day, I need to come back to wherever I'm staying at and plug my SD card in, unload these raw photos into Photoshop Lightroom.
I don't use Lightroom. I just use Photoshop.
You just use Photoshop.
Yeah, I should actually get Lightroom. I should.
Lightroom's
drop the
great
money for it.
because unless, well, I'll say I don't do a lot of hard editing of the pictures. That
Neither
take
do
in
I.
real
I
places.
do some exposure editing, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's all I do too. Lightroom makes it easy because it's like very easy to batch stuff up. But I need Lightroom, and I need an SD card slot on something. And the iPad's version of being able to do that is
that's
like
icky. It's real
no, it's
icky.
iPhoto, and it's like connected to iCloud, and it's just like I don't want to have any part of that.
It's icky.
Like, so I to this day I have not been able to ditch the laptop like when I've been going anywhere with my camera because I just can't. But now if Windows 8 could solve that, I'm all on board. I want a Windows 8
This
tablet
is why
immediately.
you don't buy a Windows RT tablet.
Yeah, I
That's
have
the
a
thing.
feeling there's going to be some good Windows 8 Pro tablets that are going to come out. Like I think Asus is going to roll out a nice Windows 8 Pro tablet, like based on their Android tablets.
Right. But
Like
the thing
because those,
is-
I have to say, I have played with those, like the Transformer Prime, and that those tablets are sexy as all get up, and the keyboard dock that comes with them, again, sexy as all get up.
Yeah.
Like the trackpad works well, the keyboard works well,
Yeah.
and the tablet just it just works just perfectly.
Yeah.
And like the only problem is, and it really depresses me to say this, but it's running Android.
Oh.
And Android tablets, like most Android tablets are just gross.
It's not a PC, and
But
it's also Android, which I don't think has reached its full.
No, not at all. It's
Is it
full
a beta
potential.
test?
Let me say this: as a tablet OS, Android hasn't reached maturity.
No, because and their problem is I don't know if this is a problem or if it's a solution, but like going from honeycomb to jelly bean, like honeycomb to ICS and that, like having ICS be that universal operating system where it's used on both phones and tablets.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Like there needs to be a tablet ICS.
But at the same time, over in Apple Camp, we have iOS, which is on both.
Right, but it works.
iOS has developers.
Like
Yeah.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it works.
Yeah.
It does work.
Like
but
and again,
But
I hate to be the one to say this because
what's
everyone's gonna give me shit for this, but iOS is really pretty on both
What?
phones and tablets. I think it's totally just like
No.
layman's bullshit, but
I will
it's
agree
pretty.
with you. It's pretty.
It's good looking.
Pretty to look at.
And like
hate
Android,
soft
like
colors.
okay,
But it's like non-functional.
yeah, like the Nexus 7, like I love the Nexus 7. I think it's a gorgeous device. But like I was saying earlier, is like earlier in the day, not earlier in the podcast. The phone UI that they use,
On the Nexus
it
7.
doesn't work.
No, it doesn't
does
work
not
very well.
work.
It's at the end of the day,
But-
when I look at my Nexus 7, like the things I want are all on the main page, and it's another grid of icons.
But at the same
That's
time,
What
it.
do you use more?
at the same time
What?
though,
What do you use more?
What?
Nexus 7 or your iPad?
Oh, I use. Oh, see, I use the. It's funny because my Nexus 7 I use more to do like Android-y things, but like
What does that mean?
What, like, okay,
Explain that to me.
Before I go into what I use my Nexus
Yeah.
7 for, let me tell you what I use my iPad for, and
Okay.
only for.
Okay.
I only use my iPad for airplaying YouTube videos to my Boxy, which is why I haven't upgraded to iOS 6 yet, because that's why I haven't upgraded to iOS 6 yet, because I would lose the AirPlay functionality. Number 2 thing I use
Apple
my
taking functionality out of
Yeah,
software.
it's
What?
kinda crazy.
That's
Keep going.
crazy.
the other thing I use it for is enterprise mail for my job.
Okay.
It's just because
Oh, so
Do they have a-
you'd be very interested in a Windows tablet because
Well, what enterprise mail do you guys run through? Are you guys Exchange?
we're Exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Windows tablet.
Well, and they have. Well, they'll get there eventually,
Outlook.
but
But then again, it's asked me on Xbox.
Outlook is gross.
Are you kidding me?
Outlook is disgusting.
which are you talking about the
mm,
desktop program?
Yes,
Because I wholeheartedly agree with
Outlook
you.
makes me want to puke. Every time I see like someone that I know that is near and dear to me use Outlook, I'm just like, oh God, save you.
No, Outlook is that terrible thing you have to use
Have you
as the
guys seen
default.
2013 Outlook though.
No, it looks nice, and I
Mhm.
would
That's what I'm talking
It
about.
does.
That's
enjoy
what I've
using
used.
that.
But back
One
to
more-
One more thing
Okay,
I
yeah,
use
that's
my
what you're
iPad
saying,
for
yeah.
is the occasional Flipboard, and that's it.
Flipboard's great.
So three.
Flipboard's a great
three-
application.
Really, 3 things.
Do you not have the Flipboard app on your Nexus 7?
No, I do, but let
But
me,
the iPad would
but
be
let me
great
break
for
let
it,
me break
which-
this down. Let
better
me break this
resolution.
down. No, and it's got more panes in it. and
Right,
stuff.
exactly.
But-
Because you're running that better resolution.
Right. But let me break this down. So basically, Flipboard occasionally, Dow Mail because I have to for my job, and then YouTube, which is I don't really count using the iPad because I just AirPlay it. I just AirPlay YouTube to my Boxy. That's not using.
Boxy's the best device
That's not.
ever created.
That's not using the iPad though. That's me pressing a button
Yeah.
and setting my iPad down and
that's
watching a
true.
video on
That's
my
true.
TV.
I would not include that. in
And
that.
now let me say what I do with my Nexus 7. Everything else besides that. Everything else besides those 3 things.
So here's my beef with the Nexus 7. Continuing on my old point,
Yeah.
the phone UI that they use for the Nexus 7 right now of ICS. It's ICS, isn't it?
I have
Have
Jelly
they
Bean
upda-
on
they
my.
have, they've updated Jelly Bean
I
already.
have Jelly Bean
Okay.
on my Nexus 7.
So
Really?
Jelly Bean.
It's a Nexus device straight from Google, straight from the Doom
Um,
carriers.
So the Jelly Bean, it was the same with the ICS though. It uses the phone UI,
Yeah.
and it's like the phone UI doesn't work on it, but because it's a portrait-based device, the tablet UI also doesn't work on it, and it's like, give me something.
Yeah.
Like they gotta make the Nexus UI.
And that's what I felt they reached for with Honeycomb.
Which you know what? I have my Galaxy Tab, and I love Honeycomb on it. And I
Yeah.
hate to be the one person in the world that says this,
Okay,
but like
hipster.
Honeycomb works on my Galaxy Tab.
Like,
It works on it.
Let me say
because it's a landscape device, and the fact that the status bar is on the bottom
Yeah.
and your notifications are on the bottom, that's where my hands are. My hands
Yep.
aren't up on the top like I'm dangling it over like whatever.
Right.
I'm holding it from the bottom, and so everything is up there. And then like my apps, the apps that I want, are on my home screen, and then I have the app drawer in the top right corner, but I rarely go to that.
yeah.
Because I basically the only apps I use on that are the browser and Sketchbook Pro made by Autodesk to just draw on.
Yeah.
Like I just have my stylus out. So it's like I have like my weather widget and BS like that. But it's like you don't use your app drawer nearly as much when you're in like Honeycomb. But that's because of the tablet interface. Like
Right.
you're expected not to use it.
Yeah.
So I really think like Honeycomb like got the tablet interface right.
Well, got it. The interface better, but like at the same time was a buggy experience.
Oh, it was buggy as all hell.
Yeah.
It still is buggy as all
Yeah.
hell. But I'm just waiting for that
It was-
ICS update because ICS does have a tablet interface.
It does. Yeah, it does. It really does. It's
I'm
just
gonna
that it's not that
research that.
well. It's not that much implanted into the Nexus 7. I feel. I mean, the widgets are nice. They have pretty nice widgets on the Nexus 7.
Right.
They look nice.
Have you
Widgets.
ever like experimented with the chameleon skin or whatever it's called?
No.
Have you heard about it?
Vaguely.
Check it out sometime.
Okay. All right.
You have to rant about the new Google Calendar icon
Oh,
and
God.
Jelly Bean.
Don't get me started.
I want to
We
hear.
So-
already started.
I want to hear this.
So, where's my phone? I see it right here. So, this happened like a couple days ago.
This
All of
is
a sudden-
bullshit. This is bullshit.
This
by
is
the way.
really bad. Really bad. I mean, a couple days ago, I like look at my phone and I look at my Nexus 7 and I'm like, oh, Google Calendar updated. Cool. I wonder what they added. Not much. They didn't add much.
Not so
Except for
much.
when I got back to my home screen, I looked around a bit. I'm like, wait, where'd this thing come from? Oh, wait. That's the calendar app. Why does it have this blue thing at the top? Why does it have this 31? Why does it have a page lift up? Why does it look like one of those rip-off day
when-
calendars?
When did my Android device become an iPhone?
So basically,
Oh God.
Google rolled out an update to. It must just be like.
I think it's just Galaxy Nexus.
I think it's just Galaxy Nexus and
I think
Nexus
it's
7
it's
devices.
it's stock
Really?
it's stock Google devices.
It's
that
stock
have Jelly
Google
Bean.
devices,
that have Jelly Bean.
and there was
'Cause-
this update to the calendar app, which basically changed the icon to look like one of those day calendars where you pull off the day.
Like that your
Yeah.
grandma has.
yeah,
in
that
her
your grandma
house.
has, where it's and basically it's stuck on the number 31.
And they have like goofy jokes.
And
on
there's a
them.
little like the page is pulled up from one corner, like folded into the center,
Yeah.
It looks-
like you're about to pull that day off.
I'm gonna put it in the show notes so you guys can look at it.
and it's especially apparent on my Nexus 7 where I have much more icons on my home screen, like much more Google icons. But if you compare that with the Gmail icon, the Drive icon, the Google Wallet icon, like the music icon, Maps, even like it's so out of place. This like 3D like page folded up thing that's like skeuomorphism basically, and it's a step in the wrong direction, and I hate
Yeah.
it. It's the worst.
So
Like-
the icon is now on our show notes, so you can
Okay.
check it out there.
I mean, it's maddening slightly, but it's not that bad. But it just makes me very fearful that we're heading down this road where Google's like, "Hey, look at iOS; they're doing pretty well. Like, let's maybe try to do that too.
Hey,
let's
so
try to
Windows
copy
8
that design style." And that's like, the design style is like one of the main reasons why I'm using a Google device, like an Android
Right,
device.
right.
Like, it feels nice, it looks nice, it feels modern. It doesn't treat me like an idiot
Yeah.
when I use it.
Yeah.
So
So we're gonna kind of backtrack here ish. We just talked about the Windows 8 announcement on October 26th,
yeah.
and 3 days after that, Google is going to be having an announcement.
Ooh, yeah.
And so what are we thinking about
They're
that?
having an announcement like right before Microsoft is announcing Windows
No,
Phone 8.
it's actually
After.
after. It's actually after.
It's after?
Yes, Microsoft is actually forcing it to be after.
What?
How?
The reason is, so I was reading an article or maybe listening to something about this, but Google's announcement is going to be hours after Microsoft's announcement, because Microsoft's announcement on October 29th, if you didn't know, is going to be about Windows Phone 8.
Yeah.
And then Google's announcement on October 29th is going to be about Android. So Microsoft petitioned to all of the carriers, the U.S. carriers, to push back the Google announcement,
Wait.
because Microsoft, this is serious, Microsoft had the announcement planned first.
And the carriers actually listen to Microsoft.
Correct. So basically, the Google announcement is going to be like an hour or two after the Microsoft announcement.
on
Yeah.
the same day.
It's going to be the same exact day, and it's going to be
surprising.
it's going to be like an hour after.
So
the
Windows
Microsoft
Phone
announcement.
8 and then Google.
And then Google is going to have their announcement, which is actually kind of ridiculous, because like Windows Phone 8 announcement is a whole lot bigger than what Google's going to be announcing.
I agree.
Google's announcing, this is what my speculation. Google is announcing possible changes to Google Now, which isn't that big, but I think they're going to.
I'm looking forward
I'm pretty
to it,
excited for that, because Google now is like an unfinished POS.
it needs some work.
yeah.
They're going to be announcing the Nexus 4, which is the worst named device in the world. And they're also going to be announcing the fact that they will no longer be selling 8 gig Nexus 7s, but we'll be dropping the price of the 16 gig and adding a 32 gig onto the market. So that will be actually happening at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I believe an hour before that is the Windows Phone 8 launch. And I don't really understand that, because like the Windows Phone 8 launch is actually a lot bigger than what's going on at this Google
It's much bigger.
announcement. It's huge compared to what's going on in this Google announcement.
I feel like Google's trying to. This makes no sense to me though. I'm really confused by how they're all jamming stuff into this week, because I didn't know that Microsoft had any kind of clout in mobile anymore.
That's what they're trying to get, though.
I know they are, but then
But
why is Google, both Google and Apple are kind of trying to.
Well, we'll get into the Apple things later. Apple, I'm sure, has had this plan for ever.
They planned stuff out so far.
Yeah, exactly.
They know exactly when they're gonna do things.
And they know that people are gonna fall into place around them.
Yeah.
But Windows is doing it because they're announcing Windows 8 the week 3 days before.
Yeah.
And they want people. I would almost put money on this, is they're going to have some deals going on where it's like, hey, buy this Windows Surface and get a rebate for a Lumia 920, or get a rebate for an HTC 8X.
Yeah.
They're
Which
gonna
begs the question: which one is actually the Windows 8 Phone 8 flagship phone?
Honestly, I would have to go with the HTC, which really sucks for Nokia because Microsoft owns Nokia. Yes, because did you not watch the HTC 8X announcement? They were like Steve Ballmer, all jacked up, like, yeah, like this is the new Windows Phone 8, brother. I'm Hulk Hogan. Like that's what he was. He was so just so amped and jazzed. Going back to that, he was so jazzed about like the HTC 8X and the HTC 8S or whatever it was, and it was like the like Lumia 920 was just like, oh yeah, it has a really nice camera. And we just spoofed a bunch of videos and photo shoots with it, and then The Verge caught us, and everyone raged.
Yeah, that makes me really sad about that, because the phone was actually good.
The phone is gorgeous, and the camera, the camera.
Oh yeah, it's a nice camera.
But it's like it really seems like after the 8X announcement, like Microsoft was like, this is Windows Phone 8. Like they really pushed the 8X at that announcement. It's more so than they did the Lumia 920 at its announcement.
It's just funny to me. I mean, just imagine what it feels like to be Stephen Elop right now.
Right. Like getting bought out by Microsoft and being like, you are going to be the exclusive Windows Phone 8 or Windows Phone provider, and then
a year later,
Windows Phone or the HTC 8X, it's the greatest phone
ever. And they
ever.
just kind of push you aside and like, hey, or I don't know. Nice. Oh, but no, I guess I don't really mind. In the end, I think the better hardware will win out.
And it's going to, God, and it's such a crapshoot on what the better hardware is.
No, it is
because I think overall the 8X has better hardware, but from what I've seen so far, people are really pushing the camera capabilities in Windows Phone.
I really like
more because Nokia is making every phone so far that Windows is putting out, any usable phone that Windows Phone is putting out, and it's so they're really pushing that camera. And I wish every phone had a Nokia camera.
And you know what? I think they need to, because meanwhile, in Apple camp over here, they have an amazing camera on their phone.
They have Okay. I wouldn't say amazing, because because I would take a Nokia, I would take a Nokia camera over an Apple camera any day of the week.
But people don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Because people smoke crack.
Because people listen to mainstream
Apple
media and
I mean everyone wants an iPhone, and everyone wants to just have necrophiliac sex with Steve Jobs, but but I mean whatever.
I mean, it's just the iPhone has such a good camera, and I know for a fact that my camera sucks on my phone. Like, I have a Galaxy Nexus, and it's a piss poor camera.
Okay, yeah.
No.
It's garbage.
It's like, I used to fake myself into that story of like, oh, I have a Galaxy Nexus. Like, this camera's not as bad as everybody made it out to be. No, it is that
I
bad.
had that phone,
The shutter
it's
speed
bad.
is terrible. When I focus on something and try to take a picture, my hand moves just enough that it just blurs the whole thing, and it like, forget about it. It's unusable. Like I should be able to focus on something. When I hit the camera button, instantaneously it takes a picture, and it should be able to pump up the ISO enough to compensate for it. My Galaxy Nexus does not do that. It takes awful pictures.
I don't get it. Like, and when that phone came out, Samsung has image sensors that were good, like, at that point.
Very good. Yeah.
And then they put that in there. Like,
Yeah.
what? Why?
I don't know.
Like,
That's really what's going to drive my next phone decision. Actually, is what kind of camera does it have in it? All things equal, if my next phone has the same hardware as my current phone, but a better camera, that's where it's gonna, like, I'm gonna make my decision.
Well,
like,
let's talk about the Nexus 4, which is again the most terribly named phone in the world.
it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Because
LG.
where was the Nexus 2 and 3? Where did they
fall into place?
Yeah.
But all in all, this phone is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be amazing. And the problem and the problem is no one knows that.
I think
because nobody buys LG phones because their software is just downright garbage. And it's really upsetting to me. I have a feeling that, like, this Nexus 4, if they would rename it, or I guess whatever, I think that's going to be a good selling point and get LG some money, because it's going to be such a great phone, and LG's hardware is amazing, and their screens are just unbelievable, but their software is so bad. But once they get that vanilla, that stock Android on there, it's just going to be great.
That's all they need.
Do you remember the Optimus View? Tell me that was amazing hardware.
Okay, it had a 4.4:3 aspect ratio.
No,
that was a fluke. Everyone knows that LG puts great hardware and great
Black.
screens.
I think that was a misstep.
How about the Optimus G?
Okay, their most current phone.
The Nexus is going to be the most current phone. It's going to be amazing.
Okay.
Wait, but that's assuming there's only going to be one. I think there's going to be multiple. That's my opinion.
I don't, because the whole Sony, the Nexus X became a hoax, and what have we heard else?
Not necessarily Sony, but I think there might be something else.
I think after the Nexus 4, there's going to be multiple devices, but I think the Nexus 4 is going to be.
Samsung's going to come out with something.
Really?
For I'm talking strictly about the announcement in 2 weeks.
On the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
we're looking at just the Nexus 4.
I mean, I absolutely know there's going to be an LG phone. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, there's zero doubt.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
But it's like, who else would pull something out? Sony, we kind of already heard that was kind of a hoax.
I think by first quarter of next year, we're gonna see a Sony device, a Samsung device, and maybe an HTC device, depending on what kind of money HTC is pulling in at the end of the quarter.
Are they going to announce stuff in Q1 next year, though?
Yeah.
You think they'll actually do
CES,
that?
CES, MWC.
Yeah.
That's right there.
It's kind of funny because CES is like a long time ago. It was like the place where you announce stuff, and then after a while there was so much.
But then there was like Congress.
There was like
that.
so much noise at CES too that like it's after a while it just became like not the place to announce things, and then all of a sudden.
But then you have like Mobile World Congress. This was like 3 weeks later.
True.
Before,
that's
whatever.
true too. But now I think CES is like quiet enough, quote unquote, like where
to,
you
like,
could
announce something
to like be like, hey, yo, we have our new phone and it's cool. It's our new official Nexus phone.
I could see Sony doing it at CES, and then I could see I could see Sony and Samsung. No, I could see HTC and Samsung announcing something at CES, and then Sony announcing something.
Can I
at
just
Mobile
say
World Congress.
that's my dream, like HTC to make just a stock Android device.
Yeah.
Nexus 1
Yeah.
What?
was made by
Yes.
HTC.
I mean, yeah, but like that was 3 years ago.
And it was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. And if they made a follow-up to that.
And the G1. We're going to go back to the G1 because that phone was gorgeous too.
The G1 too.
Well, speaking of HTC,
But, yeah.
do we have anything else to talk about on the terms of Google and
The J.
and
The J.
shut up.
HTC put this really crazy.
Shh. I'm not done yet.
In
Do we have
term-
anything else to talk about? At the Google
No,
announcement,
we beat that
Nexus
to
4?
death.
All right, so we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the HTC J, which is going to be the most amazing phone released this year. It's too bad you don't live in Japan because you're not gonna buy it.
The sad thing is, I honestly don't think HTC cares about Android right now because they're losing money in Android, which surprises me, but it's true.
This phone is going to make them $1 bajillion.
No, it's not.
Wait, is
Okay,
this
we're
as
talking-
thin as I think it looks?
Yes, it is. A 5-inch 1080p HTC phone called the J Butterfly.
But like 9.1 millimeters
Yep.
thick.
Yep.
That.
With
Oh, wow.
with an S4, which is amazing. I love my S4 in my phone.
What?
Or excuse me. I have the Hummingbird or whatever the hell it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah. I've got an S4.
2 gigs of RAM. I mean, this is more than like my old laptop. 16 gigs of storage, which is great. This is what kills me is that we are now in 2012. We're like how many years into Android development, and we're still putting out freaking 8-megapixel cameras. Can we do something with that?
Do we need any more than 8 megapixels?
Yes.
How about we work on actually?
Or
having
we get better
some-
sensors in our cameras.
No, we need better sensors.
better sensors would
I
also be nice.
think I could care less if it gets over 8 megapixels in the next year. I just need something that will actually
Take a good picture.
take a good picture and like let me share it with
Yeah,
people.
give me a phone that takes a good picture, and no one has done this yet besides
in the-
Apple
Not
and
in
Nokia.
the Android space.
Yeah, no
that's
no
true.
Android phone has a good The Galaxy S3 is a pretty good camera.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
does.
I haven't experienced that. Lucas, you have one.
You know,
It's nice. It's really nice. It's the same sensor as what's in the iPhone 4S.
So I was under the impression that Sony made that sensor.
No, Samsung does.
Oh, Samsung makes it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
the one
Alright.
thing back to this HTC J Butterfly. The one thing that really concerns me about this phone is the battery. It has a 2020 milliamp battery. How is that supposed to support a 1080p display?
Oh no, I
That's-
never.
I mean,
Oh.
you're looking at like, hey, yeah, this has like 2 hours of battery life because your display is going to drain every minute of it.
I never realized this was a 1080 phone.
Yeah, it's gonna pull so much
I
battery
actually just
from that.
bought an extended battery for my Galaxy Nexus,
Yeah.
which is 2100 milliamps, and it's nice. Like it lasts.
But
a
even
really long
then,
time now.
that's
But
not that much.
but I have a 4.5 inch display, and but it's only 720p. It's only 720 vertical pixels.
4.5.
Yeah.
4.5, 720 vertical pixels. If you have to like pump out a 1080,
1080, like
that takes so
That's
much more
intense.
than you would think.
that's intense.
That's so many more pixels than you would think.
Yeah.
but
like,
the
it takes a lot more
The
power.
phone just looks gorgeous.
Oh, it looks great. I want it. Except for the stupid HTC icons.
You know what
I
though?
mean-
I don't like their icons, but Sense 4, which actually this will have like Sense 4 Plus
Are you
because
gonna
it's
defend
running.
Sense 4?
I am actually
Okay.
because
this.
I find Sense 4 to be the best non-stock Android skin out there.
I will
for
agree with
ICS
you.
and above.
I will agree with you there. that-
TouchWiz has a pretty good ICS skin, but I think Sense 4 is closer to stock Android than TouchWiz is. And Sense 4 Plus is even better.
yeah.
And my main reason is the camera software. The camera software on Sense 4, I don't even care about that. The camera software on Sense 4 It blows everything out of the water. It blows stock ICS out of the water. It blows stock Jelly Bean out of the
camera
water.
sensor.
Their camera,
Software.
not their sensor. The software is just disgusting.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a non-stock Android to go with, I would go with Sense. I mean, that'd be my first choice.
I'd go
probably.
with last generation Motoblayer.
Oh, you
Shut your mouth.
Be quiet.
Let's jump ahead. We're running a little low on time here, so let's jump ahead.
I have a lot of beer to drink.
We're gonna skip actually our last topic.
The Amazon.
Yeah, we're gonna go right into because this
Wait,
topic.
what was the last topic?
We were gonna talk about Amazon acquiring.
Okay.
About buying OMAP.
So we're not going to talk about it.
Because right now it's still speculation, but Amazon might be buying Texas Instruments OMAP.
Just the chip
OMAP,
division.
their chipset division, which is just making mobile processors, which means there's a potential Amazon phone on the way. But we're going to go past that.
And that's all you need to know about that.
Yep. And we're going to continue talking about upcoming events because on October
9th? 6th?
I don't know.
Which one are you talking about?
23rd,
Which thing are you talking about?
23rd, the
Oh.
Apple announcement.
Oh, Apple.
23rd.
Yeah, that's right.
Apple
Apple.
is having an announcement, and we aren't 100% sure if it's the iPad Mini,
We
but
are.
everyone knows it is.
It's going to be iPad Mini.
It's going to be the iPad Mini, and I'm
Actually,
not excited
John
about
Gruber thinks it might be the iPad Air.
There's the Apple TV.
it. No, it is not going to be the iPad Air because that would be a terrible name.
No, that's
It'll
just
be the
John
Mini.
Gruber.
Everyone knows it's going to be the Mini.
What if it's
No,
an iPad
I think
made
it'll
out
be
of
the
cork?
Mini.
The what?
iPad made out of cork.
Cork?
Yep, just
Like
screw
cork
aluminum, build it out of
board.
cork.
Like cork,
Yes.
like that you
Yes.
put in a wine bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Did
I
you
don't-
see
I don't think
did you see
Apple's
the
gonna do
sneakers
that.
they made for Nike made that were made out of cork.
Yes.
Exactly.
You're talking about Nike to me.
We're making a cork iPad.
No, it's not gonna happen. So let's
iPad Mini.
let's talk about the iPad Mini.
This thing, it doesn't make sense to
It's
me.
gonna be 7.8 inches. That's it's basically been established,
7.85.
Yeah.
which is a ridiculous.
It's
size.
gonna have the same aspect ratio. It's gonna be 4:3,
which is it's gonna be it's gonna be a cube.
basically.
It's gonna look ridiculous. Hey, you ever seen the LG View before? Go look it up.
I want
It
to buy
looks
that.
Now-
silly.
It might have different colors. It might come in different colors, like the
Oh
iPad.
my
Do you really
God.
believe that?
No, I really believe that because I think this is more focused
On kids.
On children? On
on
children?
children, on people's children. Like this,
Yeah.
any self respective adult
Person is not
is not going to buy
an iPad Mini.
the iPad Mini. I think they're going to get
but
the
would they
real
buy the Nexus
iPad.
7?
What's that?
But would they buy the Nexus 7?
No.
No, because no self-respecting adult is aware of the Nexus 7.
Good point.
We are because we're not.
Self-respecting.
We're not self-respecting.
I have no respect for myself.
Okay.
But no, here's the other thing I want to throw in about this announcement real quick. Besides the
Go ahead.
iPad Mini, I think there's been this rumor flying around. There might be announcement of a 13-inch MacBook Pro Retina.
Yes.
I'm actually kind of
Yes.
excited for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though being the resident Apple hater here, I'm actually kind of excited for that.
I am so excited that Apple is finally pushing screen tech forward
Yeah.
in laptops, and I'm very
Right.
upset they're killing iMacs, but no one cares except
Yeah.
for like
I
5
do.
people in the U.S.
I am one of those 5 people.
Yes.
Make
I
it
know,
6.
but let me finish up here. Now, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Okay. God dang it. I'm just excited they're pushing like screen tech forward because we've had 1080 screens on our computers for how many years now? It's
Too
been
long.
forever.
Oh, it's been
We are
it's been a
not
real
moving-
long time.
There is no resolution race at all in the PCs.
4K.
I want a 4K screen so bad.
Yeah.
I want a 4K laptop.
Like
I want a 4K tablet, actually.
I could go into a whole
I
thing
really
about 4K.
don't care about a 4K tablet.
I
The
would
thing
love
is-
that.
There's 4K displays.
It would like burn my legs
4K,
though.
4K displays exist right now, but there's nothing to play on them.
Well, yeah, because they're like
Except for
because they're like
games.
because they're like movie theater
there's
projection
games.
screens.
You can do like a lot of like business work, like AutoCAD, your
Yeah.
design studios.
Yeah,
and
that's
whatnot.
true.
Yes.
That'll work great. But the thing is, right now they're sticking with 2560 by 1200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
2560
Yeah, yeah,
by
yeah.
440.
440. Yeah.
1440.
1440.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Just
Yeah.
like thinking 2560 by 440, you got a screen about this tall.
It's like
about
it's like the iPhone 5 but turned sideways.
No. But yeah, I really want Screen Tech to be pushed forward because and on my iPad Mini
So
note
funny.
Here, no. On my
So
iPad Mini
funny.
note here, it's
You do want the iPad Mini?
I don't really care.
Put your crack pipe down and come back to the real world, my friend.
I want the iPad Mini.
The iPad Mini is a ridiculous device. It's going to be overpriced. Let's talk about price point right now.
yeah.
I'm just
price
saying.
point.
Predictions
I
on
was
we're gonna go prediction on price points. You get 3 words to describe your prediction on price point. Ryan, go.
$300. Too much.
Lucas.
350 sells billion.
My turn.
Oh, that's sad.
I agree. 350.
350.
I have a feeling it has to be 350 because
No,
like Lucas said
here-
earlier today, it cannot beat out the iPod.
We were
Touch.
talking about this Jobsian era Apple.
Jobsian era Apple.
In Jobsian era
It
Apple.
can't beat out the iPod
No,
Touch.
in Jobsian era Apple, it would be 350.
In Jobsian era Apple, it wouldn't exist. Because
No.
he'd be
That's
like-
true because
you're
you would
right.
say this is ridiculous.
You're right. You're right.
You'd be
Job
like,
would just
hey.
be like, no, shelve this. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
He would throw it in
But-
a fish tank like he did with the original iPod.
But
And if you don't know what that reference is from, read Steve Jobs' biography.
oh, great biography.
It's actually really good, coming
Yeah.
again from the resident Apple hater.
But no, like, what was I saying? No, Steve Jobs would price it at 350.
Yeah.
if he was
at
still around.
least, at
No,
least
at
350.
least, but-
because the iPod Touch is at like 300
and
right
Steve
now.
Jobs would be the one man who could convince you to buy it at
Yeah.
350, but they can't do that anymore. And also, they have these Apple people that are there now that will just happily be reticent with putting it at whatever is competitive.
Right.
Yeah.
And they will put it at 300. That's my feeling.
Which makes Apple no money.
No.
Which doesn't make
No.
excuse me, let me rephrase that. Which doesn't make Apple money.
The
Like
thing-
as in it not it doesn't make Apple money, but it doesn't make Apple money.
Oh,
like
Apple
you're not
money.
making
Like
you're
you're
not
using-
making the monetary
You're
value
using Apple
of Apple
as
money.
you're using Apple as an adjective
as a monetary
to
value
describe
yes.
money.
Like
They
Like
don't
you're not
have a
making
7%
Apple
you're
money.
making you're making a lot of money, but you're not making Apple money.
No. Which
As an
to
adjective,
go back,
yes,
to go
as
back
an
to
adjective.
the iPad cost. Like people have looked at this.
The iPad costs
around
like
200
$100. It makes it costs like $175
Now.
to make. Yes. The new
Originally, I remember hearing like 230, 240.
the new iPad costs $175
But
to
since
make
then,
right
they've
now.
gotten their supply chains more optimized, and manufacturing
Those
costs
child
that go-
labor laws.
Yes, they go down over time.
Those Foxconn strikes really
They
brought
put
those
a
prices
hamper in
down.
things. Yeah, so like 175 now. So that's 175 for a 10-inch iPad. Let's think about
Which
a
costs what now?
which costs the base model iPad third generation new
So the
iPad
last-
is $499.
We're just gonna call it the iPad 3 because new
iPad
iPad
3.
is a bullshit
No,
name.
it's a terrible name. But then
It's
the
worse than the
iPad
Nexus
3
4.
is $499. So
$499. So they're making over twice as much as what they pay for.
they're
it.
making so much on that freaking.
They're making Apple money on
But
that.
that's Apple money. Now, how now to put that in perspective, on a $300 tablet, how much would Apple money
We're
have
gonna
to be?
let's say this tablet gets priced at $350. Let's go the high end of the scale and
okay.
just
All
expect
right,
that.
all right.
I would put the iPad Mini
It's got to
production.
be at least 50%.
I would put the iPad Mini
Yeah.
production cost at 100. No more than $125.
Really?
No more.
Really?
I think it's more than that. I think it's going to be around 150 just because
If it's
that
if it's
screen is
150,
gonna cost dang near as much as what the screen does right now on the 10.1.
but
inch.
it's almost half the size. It's 3/4 of the
It
size.
doesn't matter on the size. They're still going to be using the same chip. They still have the same. They're gonna have the same amount of memory. They're
Well,
gonna
yeah,
have
but
a slightly smaller screen, but it's still gonna be priced pretty close to the same thing.
that's true. I mean, your manufacturing costs are going to be roughly the same because it's
Yeah.
still manufacturing the same product, just slightly smaller.
Like I'm picturing it being a little bit cheaper, but the thing is,
I would
Amazon
put it
it's
at.
barely earning money at
All right,
$200.
I say we meet in a happy middle ground, say about 135, 140
In terms of costs.
in terms of cost
Yeah.
per unit.
I would agree.
But that's the thing though. This is including like
Here-
manpower, which
here's-
is like the cheapest part of all of it.
Here's the
which
thing.
is sad.
Here's my point. Where the jobs in Apple, you'd be like, no, screw it. It's $350. Deal with it.
Exactly. But it's
But
gonna be like 300.
It's a new Apple.
because it's the Cooksy in Apple.
Yeah, no, it's a new Apple, and I think they play ball a little more, and they might go for 300.
I think that them playing ball is bad for their business strategy.
I agree.
But
I agree.
but this isn't Jobsy and Apple. They don't play ball anymore. They
Right.
play cricket.
right. Oh, and boom, with that,
And he puts the headset down.
he puts the headset down.
Because we're about to jump.
We're about to jump into our next segment.
And we are back from our music break, and we're about to talk about our beer segment of the week. So my name is Nick Smock, and I know the best beer of the week.
Yeah, no.
Oh boy, my name is Ryan Splutzer, and I know the best beer of the whole entire week.
My name's Luke Schroeder, and I'm not even going to try to debate this. It's over.
All right, so Ryan, go ahead and get this thing started. I'm the commissioner
I'm
for
gonna
this
kick
week.
Off. So my beer pick of the week. I found this beer in Meijer today while I was shopping for some groceries in the craft beer section. I honestly wasn't expecting to find anything in Meijer today. I was walking down the aisle and I was like looking at everything. I was like, these dudes have had everything in here before.
Looks like you have a seasonal beer.
And it is a seasonal beer. And
Ooh,
I came across
seasonal.
this one before, or I came across this one and I had never seen it before myself personally. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's from Arcadia Ales.
Ooh, solid brewing company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's called the Jawjacker. And it is ale with spices added. That's just what it says on the label. But basically, it's kind of a pumpkin-y ale. Cinnamon, allspice, and nutmeg. Hints of that in there, too.
Ooh, it sounds
So
good. A little pumpkin spice.
I had a bottle of this earlier. I quite enjoyed it. And so I'm going to crack
We're
this
gonna
one
crack
open.
this bad boy open, and we're gonna take a taste.
See how it is.
So Ryan, you
I
go ahead
quite
and-
enjoyed this. I was originally suspicious when I picked this up. I kind of picked it up just because I was like, oh, it's fall.
Just go ahead
Whatever.
and taste right out of the bottle.
Yeah, you guys, I'm going to pour a little for myself, but you guys can taste right out of the bottle.
It definitely has. I'm giving it a sniff. It definitely has a pumpkin spice aroma to
you
it.
can
you really,
smell.
You really get hit by that
You
pumpkin
can smell
spice.
the pumpkin spice up
and
front.
like the nutmeg in that. I can definitely smell that.
Yeah.
It smells like a pumpkin pie that your grandmother would make.
Lucas, are you passing it? Okay.
Over here.
Yeah, and
That smells.
I like this because, it didn't hit me too much. It didn't hit me over the head with the pumpkin.
This
at
is
least.
this is like important when it comes to pumpkin spice based beers, and
Yeah.
I definitely taste this. The fact that the pumpkin spice is prevalent in the beer, but it's not overpowering. Like, have you ever had Shock Top's pumpkin spice beer?
Yes,
it is
I
like
have.
it tastes
Yeah.
like pumpkin pie in a bottle, which I'm not a fan of because it's not beer otherwise.
Right.
And this definitely, like, especially with the bringing in the allspice and the nutmeg, it really like detracts from that heavy pumpkin spice flavor,
Right.
and brings out those other flavors in the beer.
Yeah. I mean, it's just strong enough with the pumpkin flavor.
Right.
And
It's
and the
it's
spice.
perfect.
It's
for a
not too
beer.
much. Like, I was originally very worried that this beer would be too sweet.
Right.
Because most of the pumpkin beers I've tried
Like,
before
yeah.
have been way too
Yeah,
sweet.
they
Like
for
I
me
was
to
saying,
handle.
yeah.
Like the Shock Top one.
That's overpowering.
Yeah, it's too much.
It doesn't taste good.
But this one, the Jaw, what's it called again?
Jawjacker.
Jawjacker from Arcadia Ales, I feel is pretty nice.
This makes me want a pumpkin IPA.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Because
but I just
you
want
taste.
That'd be
Cause
really
you,
good.
It's because you taste the hops in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You can
like
just barely taste
with
it.
most pumpkin spice beers, you don't get that beer taste in it. You don't
Right.
get those
Yeah.
hops. You don't get that yeast. You get pumpkin pie,
Right.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And that really brings out that flavor. So
Yeah.
Luke, we're gonna jump over to you. I hear you have a beer from across the seas.
Yeah, it's not really from across the seas.
Well,
It's from Detroit.
Well,
so
it's an overseas
yeah,
beer.
it is. What I've got here is it's brewed in Detroit, so I just walked into a place and I was like, oh hey, look, it's a Radler, and I had this in Germany when I was there my sophomore year of high school and don't remember
Underage
much.
drinking. Cops don't arrest
I
us.
was not underage over there.
Don't
I was
arrest
underage
us.
over here. But anyway, it's so basically like with your Radlers, it's they take lemonade or lemon lime soda, or they mix it almost half and half with beer, and it's a really unique taste. It's kind of fun. I enjoy it.
Okay.
'Cause it's something
I've
different,
put it this way. I've never had a Radler before.
I have not had a
Okay.
Radler ever in my
Really?
life. I don't.
I've
think.
had a Shandy, but never a Radler.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Radler sounds fun.
Did you see the Wikipedia page I posted on your wall?
Wait.
I did not.
Wait, are we gonna try to do the pickle
This-
thing here?
Oh yeah, we should.
All right.
should-
So we have a
We
jar
have-
of pickles in the middle of the table.
To cleanse our palates.
Yeah.
Because
So
this is gonna
I'm
be
just
a
gonna
lot
grab it.
different
I'm gonna
than
grab a
what the-
pickle for myself, and eat part of it.
Stick my finger in one of these empty beer bottles. Apparently,
Someone want to pass me a
Yeah.
pickle, or that works.
Just kind
just a palate cleanser.
of cleanse the palate. Now these, I was surprised by these pickles.
Who are they made by?
These are Gundelsheim barrel pickles, and they're actually kind of sweet. And I'm used to like those kind of tart.
They're not
like
too sweet though.
they're not too sweet. They're just sweet enough.
Are you a fan of dill pickles or sweet pickles?
I actually like dill pickles better. That's why
I'm
I was
a-
kind of surprised when I bought these. Like, well, I bought them, and then when I tried them, I was like, oh, these are kind of sweeter than I thought they would be.
I'm a bread and butter man myself.
Bread and butter.
All I hear is like pickle chewing over the headset right now. But
Coming next week, TechBuzzed on pickles.
Yeah.
but no, here's the thing though. Continuing on to that point. Who is it? Vlasic. I think it's Vlasic.
Vlasic
They
pickles.
make these. They have this new line of
I
pickles.
had those. at
Yeah,
your
you had them
house.
at my house. Vlasic makes this new line of pickles. I don't know why we're still talking about this, but they have like these. They're like farmers market, like homegrown pickles,
Yeah.
and they have like they have a
fake
dill.
things in 'em.
They have a dill, and they also have a bread and butter, like crinkle cut bread and butter style with
Okay.
like peppers and stuff in them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Becky, look at her pickle. It is so big. It's so good.
Oh man.
They're so delicious. But
Okay.
back to the Radler.
Yeah.
No,
this
I
is-
just-
Palates are
talk about dilly
cleansed. Let's try out
beans.
the Radler.
It smells like Sprite.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
it.
Sprite.
It doesn't even. It does. There's no beer smell to this. It smells like Sprite.
And it tastes
Oh, that's delicious.
Okay.
You know what? I have a good comparison for what that tastes like. That tastes like I just smoked some like citrus flavored hookah. It really does.
Yeah.
It tastes like
I
I,
get- yeah, I
smoked
get
some
that.
citrus flavored hookah.
I'm a fan of it because like
That's-
it's
That's really
something
good.
a little bit
That's really
different.
good.
It's
That's surprising.
It's light, but at the same time it's not. What brewing company makes this?
Detroit
yes.
Brewing
This
Company.
is Detroit.
It's by Detroit Brewing
Detroit
Company.
Brewing Company. Yes. Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, just that.
I like that a lot.
So,
Good stuff.
That's a good beer.
oh yeah.
All right.
So my beer, I have a little history lesson for you. I am bringing. I gotta look at the brewing company name again. I am bringing Liberty Street Brewing Company out of Plymouth, Michigan, staying local,
Okay.
called Steamy Windows. It's a California Common style ale. Now here's a little history on the California Common. It's one of the first American brewed beers. And the reason it's called a California Common, whoa. The reason it's called a California Common was back in the day of like steamships and that, especially out of the West Coast, they would brew when you brew a lager, you brew it, you ferment it in cold temperatures,
Mm-hmm.
in like a freezer or cooler or something like that. However, when you're in the middle of California in the late 1800s, you don't have that luxury of brewing in a cold temperature.
Right.
So they would brew these lagers, or excuse me, not brew, but ferment. They would brew these lagers and then ferment them on these ships or in these shipyards. And they would ferment them in these shipyards under warm temperatures. Thus, the term California Common came about because it was a California native brand. So Anchor Steam actually, they were originally called Anchor Steam beers or ales, but Anchor Steam, the company, ended up coining that term. So then they took on the name California Common. So I bring you the Liberty Street Brewing Company's Steamy Window California Common, which is, you know, I was actually shocked. This is why I picked this up, because I've only had Anchor Steam. I've only ever seen Anchor Steam. Mm-hmm. I've never seen any other California Commons besides like some home brews.
Yeah.
So I decided to pick this one up because I've never seen any other California Commons besides that. So here we go.
All right.
This is my first taste of it. This is not the beer of the week.
No. Is it that disappointing?
It's pretty disappointing. But you guys have never had Anchor Steam before.
And
I've never had Anchor Steam.
Neither of you guys have had Anchor Steam before, have you?
No.
It's not a good California Common.
I don't choose bad beers for beer of the week.
What?
I don't choose bad beers for beer of the week.
You know, I'm not. It's okay.
This is weird.
It's different. I mean, it's a California Common, but it's not a good California Common.
It's like how do I describe this? It's like it's kind of bitter.
Well, yeah, that's what you're gonna get because of the way it's brewed.
Right. And it's like
you have to think of a beer that's like naturally brewed or fermented in cold temperatures.
Yeah.
Fermented in room temperatures.
And is it brewed at the top of the Coors Light Mountain?
No.
Oh my god, this is terrible.
It's not terrible.
It tastes like piss.
It's
wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Harsh.
This is the first episode and you're already coming at my throat. Oh my goodness.
I just tasted like a terribly made IPA because they can't make it in good conditions.
No, it's like
you're coming at my throat right now.
I would say it's terrible. I would drink that whole beer.
I would drink it. I mean, I'm gonna drink it.
It's just like,
not you. But here's the problem, though. I just turned at least. Hey, I like that. At least Lucas. I don't know about Ryan, but I've turned Lucas off of drinking Anchor Steam.
Is that the next one?
Turned me off of drinking
Anchor Steam is the original California Common.
No, I'd be interested in this.
Anchor Steam is delicious. I love Anchor Steam. That's why I picked up this beer.
Yeah, no, this hasn't completely turned me off to that. I mean, it's just like
I'll try out other stuff, but
it's pretty bitter. Like
it's like pretty bitter. Anchor Steam is much better. So if you ever get the opportunity, it's in short yellow bottles.
Okay.
Pick it up. So here we go. We have just all three introduced our beers. Let's pick our beer of the week.
Beer of the week.
Lucas.
Can I pick the worst beer of the week?
No. You cannot, because it's going to be mine. And I feel bad for that because I didn't even try this beforehand. So
I gotta pick it. I don't know. What are our rules for voting for beer of the week?
Just vote.
You just vote for your favorite one.
And we can argue.
Yeah.
I'm a very terrible person to vote first, but I liked mine the best.
You like the Radler?
Yeah. Because I guess I can't taste very much right now, though, so I'm a terrible vote.
Ryan?
I'm going to do one more taste of each one of these real quick before I make my decision.
I already have my decision made, so I'm actually going to vote for the Jawjacker.
Right.
Because, number one, it's seasonal. And number two...
Yeah, I can support that.
Number two, the Radler is a little too light for me.
No, I understand that.
So I'm gonna vote for the Jawjacker for this first week of
The Jawjacker
beer
is
of the
very
week.
good.
It's an excellent beer.
Like,
Wow. Okay.
The Radler's great too.
I mean, the Radler is like
I just like the Radler because it's a little bit different.
the Radler's really refreshing.
It's really refreshing.
Like you hit the
but-
nail on the head with like Sprite and
But
beer.
we're in the middle of October.
Yeah, and it's like I am feeling the
Holding on to
jawbreaker.
my summer.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of October.
I don't know. I feel like I've transcended the lemon lime a little bit.
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
summer.
Like Shandy's season is over.
Like yeah.
Shandy's season is long gone.
Were it like a month ago, I might be like, oh man.
Yeah, if it was like no, I'd even go more than a month ago. I'd say like early August. I'd be down for the Radler. But if it was early August, I wouldn't be down for
Like
the
Radler-
Jawjacker either.
I would take the Radler to the beach with me.
Oh,
I'd
hell
take
yeah.
a six-pack of Radler to
Hell
the beach.
yeah, I would. I would take that to the beach with me over Summer Shandy because Summer Shandy tastes like piss water.
I will totally agree with you guys.
And I am standing behind
But the
that point.
Arcadia
I-
is a much better beer for the time right now, and
For sure.
it's
Yeah.
So let's get this
So
straight.
I'll-
We can
I'll say-
continue discussing. Let's get this straight. Is a Jawjacker the beer of the week?
No, yeah. So I guess it's my final
I
vote.
think the
Radler
Jawjacker
is
is
great.
the beer of the
I think it tastes really great.
Exactly.
But
Same here.
I am voting for the Jawbreak, the Jawjacker. Sorry,
Jawjacker.
Yep.
Jawjacker.
yeah.
Jawjacker. That's 3 votes for the Jawjacker. You
Jawjacker
heard
is
it
the beer of the
first,
week.
people. The Jawjacker is the beer of the week on the TechBuzzed podcast. So we'll
All
see
right.
next week on what we bring. If it can dethrone the Jawjacker or the
I'll
Jawjacker
bet.
can last another week. And that is it for the TechBuzzed podcast for the week of October 19th, 2012. My name is Nick Smock, and you can find me at Nick_Smock. That's SMOCK on Twitter.com.
And my name is Ryan Splutzer. You can find me at Ryan Splutzer on Twitter, RyanSpletzer.
And I am Lucas Ritter. You can find me at Depresso is cool once again on Twitter. My it's spelled DEPRESSOISCOOL.
And if you're looking for just the TechBuzzed podcast social network links, you can find us at soundcloud.com/techbuzz. That's TECHBUZZED.
That's where, that's where we'll have our audio files.
All of our audio files will be hosted
Yep.
there. Twitter.com/techbuzzed, Facebook.com/techbuzzed, and if you'd like to email us, that'll be at techbuzzedpodcast@gmail.com, and our website, which is in the works at this moment, is techbuzz.com.
Yep.
Very in the
We're
works.
working on the design right now. Very excited about it, and
Yes.
we'll let you know when it goes up.
That will be in future podcasts. So thank you all for listening, and enjoy your week. We'll see you next week on the TechBuzzed podcast. The music for today's podcast was Lost by artist Lada Laika. You can find more at myspace.com/Lada Laika. That's LADALAIKA.